The person who cannot be alone is not free. They may appear free, moving constantly, always in the company of others, always occupied, always available. But they are, in the most important sense, dependent. They require the presence of others to avoid the one thing they are most afraid of, themselves. Epictetus in Book 3, Chapter 13 is not talking about loneliness. He is talking about solitude, and the distinction matters. Loneliness is the feeling that something is missing. Solitude is the capacity to be fully present without distraction, including the distraction of other people. Loneliness is a symptom. Solitude is a practice. He begins with a question that most people never pause to answer. Can you spend time with yourself and be content? Not entertained. Not distracted. Not occupied with something that prevents you from having to be quiet. Content in the actual silence, with the actual state of your own mind, without anyone or anything to manage the experience for you. For most people, the honest answer is no. And the reason it is no is not that they are particularly disturbed. It is that they have never practiced it. Solitude is a skill. Like any skill, it requires repetition. And like any skill, its absence is felt most sharply in the moments when you need it most. The person who has never developed the capacity for solitude will not tolerate exile. They will not tolerate convalescence. They will not tolerate the natural periods of life when, for whatever reason, company falls away and you are left with only what you have made of yourself. The person who has developed it is different. Exile is not punishment, it is a change of location. Illness is not despair, it is a different kind of time. Solitude is not absence, it is presence, of a kind. Epictetus does not romanticize this. He is not saying that company is unnecessary or that relationships do not matter. He is saying that the person who cannot function without them has outsourced something they cannot afford to outsource, their relationship to their own mind. What happens in real solitude, practiced honestly? You stop running from your thoughts. You encounter them, the uncomfortable ones, the ones that don't resolve, the ones about what you have or haven't done, who you are or aren't becoming. And you find, if you stay long enough, that the encounter is survivable. That the thoughts, met directly, lose much of their power. That the thing you were most afraid to face is, often, far less destructive than the fear of facing it. This is why the Stoics spent time with mortality. Why they practiced imagining losses. Why they sat with discomfort rather than immediately seeking relief. Not because they were masochists. Because they knew that the capacity to be with difficulty, to stay present with what is hard, is what makes a person genuinely resilient, rather than just comfortable until conditions change. Practice solitude. Not as a grand gesture, an hour, alone, without your phone, without a podcast, without the company of anything that fills the silence for you. Just you, and whatever is actually in your mind. Do it enough times that it becomes familiar. That you recognize your own thoughts as company rather than threat. The person who can be alone without being lost can never be truly exiled. They carry their home with them. Subscribe to StoicForge for weekly episodes from the greatest minds in history. Ancient wisdom. Modern edge.
That was episode 9, How to be Alone Without Being Lost. Solitude is not the absence of company. It is the presence of yourself. In episode 10, Epictetus addresses the suffering we generate entirely on our own. Subscribe to StoicForge. Ancient wisdom. Modern edge.